I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he's trying to be the American Badass version of Taker. If y'all remember with the Limp Bizkit and the rolling intro with the motorcycle. I don't know if I don't know what he's doing with that. I don't know if he's going split personality and being both characters, but I don't know. It's really weird. But yeah, it was the best part of the show. Taker talking about Styles, how he's gonna say, "I'll make you famous. I'll make you famous, boy." That's pretty good. Sorry, this is a rough show, guys. Then we go into a promo with Becky Lynch coming out, and then it goes into a replay where she's showing Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch. Champ versus opponent. This was the winner take all match to take the women's championship from SmackDown and the women's championship from Raw. Of course, we remember that Becky won these. And then after that, it goes into a promo again, where Becky's talking to Shayna Baszler, addressing her on her match for WrestleMania. Then we have the so exciting and electrifying Shayna Baszler come out and attack Becky Lynch before WrestleMania. Ugh, Shayna. God, you're wow. Yeah, so you're just gonna do the same thing basically as Becky, other than you're not using a chair, you're just gonna choke her out. I don't know, not excited for this match, have to say. Then we get match one of the night. There was 3 matches total tonight, other than the replays. You know, I don't really consider the replays matches. They are technically, but we've already seen them before. And I feel like at this point, Raw is really struggling, as well as SmackDown, to not show these. They're using them to fill time. Like basically this whole show was, you know, there's a few matches, they were very long. Their promos seemed very dragged out for time. It's like they were filling time. Then the replays were filling time. Then the promotions for WrestleMania, which you've already seen 1,000 times. Dragging all this out to fill that 2-hour slot. They're really struggling with this. The sustainability of this, like I said before, this is gonna hit a rock eventually. Like the ratings are gonna drop so far on this, doing these replays and all this. We don't want to see these matches. We've already seen these matches before, okay? If you have the network, you can watch all these for free. You know, you're not really giving us anything. Like, we can see these matches anytime. Anyways, whew. Match 1, we have Aleister Black again versus Jason Cady. Don't know Jason Cady. This was another. So if you have a guy come to the ring and then the other guy's already there and there's no intro, what does that tell you? Straight up, Mr. Jobber. That's a jobber. Yep, if you don't get an intro, you a jobber. Sorry to say. No intro, you a jobber. This is another jobber squash match. It was very short. Yeah, very short match. Just like last week, Aleister Black had another squash match last week on Raw versus a jobber, which I have already forgotten the name, unfortunately to say. Then we move on to match number 2. Oh boy. Match number 2. Another one I'm not technically invested in because it seems like the Seth Rollins and the Kevin Owens situation is... I feel like I have this weird sensation of deja vu. Like, I have seen this before. I've seen this like 1,000 times. Kevin Owens, I don't know what it is. You know, he's a good guy. You know, he has good work in the ring. So does Rollins. I like them both. But this seems like it's been done before. Like, I feel like we're in a time machine. This has happened like several years before, and I don't know where to go on this one. You're not drawing my interest. It's almost like a mid-card battle. You know, it's not anything. It seems like Kevin Owens is getting buried in the mid-card, and as good as Seth Rollins is, I feel like drawing him into this is making him mid-card as well. Y'all may not agree with me, but it just feels really burying them both. I don't know. So match 2, we had KO, Kevin Owens, and the Street Profits versus the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins, and Angel Garza with no Andrade. So I think he's done wrestling. I think he's going into quarantine or something, but from what I read on Twitter, yeah, I think he's out at the moment. So she brings in Austin Theory from NXT. It was okay match, pretty good. A little good back and forth. I think they're using this to build up the Seth and Kevin thing because Kevin Owens' team won this one. But then we had Seth Rollins curb stomp Owen afterwards and then leave the arena. I don't know. It was weird. It just seemed like very generic. I mean, it was a setup for WrestleMania, but like I said, this feels like they're getting buried mid-card somehow. What I really didn't like about this match was the Street Profits. I still don't like these guys, man. The whole time they're yelling, "Woo! WrestleMania season! Let's do it! Come on! Woo!" I'm like, oh god, just shut up. Shoot me now. Oh, it was weird. I didn't like it. Then we have a in-ring promo afterwards with Kevin Owens sitting in the ring talking more to Seth Rollins about, you know, I've never had any big WrestleMania moments, but you're gonna give me my moment, Seth Rollins. I was like, ugh, not good. I don't know. It was so boring. It took me, I'm not even joking. So when this goes up, this will be several days, probably Thursday here in the States, maybe Wednesday night when this goes up. A little bit past Monday Night Raw. And the reason is I had trouble watching this. I had to watch it in segments. It was so dull. Like the whole thing was so boring. Like, oh my goodness. Whew. Then we had a promo with Edge. I love Edge. He's one of my favorites of all time. Then it was your standard, you know, Randy Orton, I'm coming after you. You know, you RKO'd with my wife. You talked about my daughters. Now it's on, I'm going to get you, boy. You know, you're going to get the spear. But it worked for a couple of minutes and then it got drawn out again. Like this whole thing is they're drawing out these promos to fill these minutes. A good promo has a good beginning, middle, and end, okay? It's just like any story or poem or whatever, any song. When you hit that high note and you finish it out, you're done, you walk away, and you made a masterpiece. But they're hitting the note quickly, getting the ending out, and then it just goes for a while. Like the ending is like, it's like, what are we watching? The extended edition of Lord of the Rings? Come on, in the movie. Let's go, in the segment, in the promo. You've made your point, move on with it. And Edge, I don't know, it's not his fault, okay? Creative is doing this to them. They're saying, hey, we got 2 hours and something, 2 hours and 2 minutes to fill. Okay, guys, make the promos last as long as possible because we don't have any matches to show because nobody's gonna show up to work. We only got like the same, yeah, and it seemed like last week on Raw we had Andrade too, wrestling ring. They have a thin list of clients there right now who's willing to work matches, it seems. Like, y'all have this whole roster, but it feels like this week and last week, we had the same thing. We had Andrade last week with Angel Garza. Even though Andrade didn't come out, he had to move out. But I'm just saying his partner was there with the little girl. And then we had Street Profits last week also. As well as, who else was there? Aleister Black, yeah. So we're having the same people. And coming up in match 3, we have Asuka. And she was on SmackDown Wrestling. So this list must be very, very small. I don't know. It's weird. Anyways, moving on. Edge in that promo, he said the whole focus was, I got grit. You know, I'm going to take you down, Randy. You're not the best no more. I can still take you on your best day. Whatever. Moving on. Match number 3. Now, Wildcat talked about this also, because Asuka was on SmackDown this last week. Basically getting wrecked by Alexa Bliss very quickly in the match last week on SmackDown. And I agree with him on this. Asuka is one of the best in the world. Why is she getting buried? Like, seriously. Like, she's a champion right now, but she's a champion getting buried. That's very odd. That doesn't happen very often. But this week we have Asuka versus Kayden Carter. Kayden Carter is another semi-jobber. She did get a few moves in at the very beginning, but it was a short match. Asuka squashed her, which made no sense. I mean, it kind of did, but it's like 2 weeks in a row you got squashed by Alexa Bliss, and you almost got semi-squashed by Kayden Carter in the beginning. Like, if you're going to squash somebody, like, I hate these squash matches, honestly. There's a time and a place for a squash match, and the time before WrestleMania is not the time, especially the last show before WrestleMania. So I guess, you know, in the overlooking of things, Kayden Carter, you know, no intro, jobber person. Yeah, they let her get a few moves in. It wasn't like the Aleister Black match, but still, Asuka did squash her at the end because it was short and she got, you know, yeah, she got it. She got the Asuka lock on her, Asuka lock submission. But, yeah, I don't know, guys. There is good wrestling on TV, I promise you. There is good wrestling on TV. But right now, with WWE, it's getting worse. You know, it's getting worse in the world, and it's getting worse on things like this. You can only do so much with an empty arena, and it's, at this point, you know, this is only, what, 3 weeks in, I believe? It feels like we're scraping the bottom of the barrel, WWE, and you guys got to figure out something. You have a whole staff of creative that can write anything in the world, and you're choosing to write these boring, dull, long Raws with replays and very, very short and few matches. Yeah. Then we get a very short promo outside that showed earlier tonight, and it had Charlotte Flair kicking Rhea Ripley outside of the Performance Center into seemed like a storage locker wall. Very short. She kicked her on the ground, gave her a little woo, and then she moved on. It was very short. It was like 15 seconds. Very, very short. Then we get another replay. We get a Survivor Series replay of last year with Rey Mysterio versus Brock Lesnar. I don't know why they showed this. This made no sense to me whatsoever. Okay, if you're going to show replays, you need to show a replay that builds with the story that you're telling. Brock Lesnar is facing Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania for the championship. Drew McIntyre is amazing, and he's big. He's like, actually, when you look at him on TV, he's taller than Brock Lesnar, and he's pretty freaking big. Like, he's not a small dude. He matches up with Brock pretty good. Okay. But this replay is Rey Mysterio versus Brock Lesnar, where Brock wins. This was last year with the whole Dominique thing and all that. Dominique is Rey Mysterio's son, if y'all don't know. The whole thing where Brock was terrorizing the family, and Rey wanted to get revenge and have a match with him. Nothing happened. Brock still won. Smashed that story up. What does that have to do with Drew McIntyre? What kind of buildup is this? Okay, Rey's a small guy. He's amazing in the ring. He's a legend. But he's small, and Brock's huge. But Drew is huge, and Brock is huge. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why did you show this replay? I didn't need to see this, guys. Like, I wanted to see some matches, some new, original WWE content. I didn't need to see a replay of something that has nothing to do with the current storyline. It made 0 sense. And yeah, after this we get the final segment of the show with a promo with Paul Heyman. Oh my goodness, I love Paul Heyman, like I love his work. But for him to close out the show, the last Raw before WrestleMania, I'm sorry, Mr. Paul, and your client, your advocate, Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate. It was so boring, Paul. You could do so much better, man. Come on. Oh my goodness. Oh, I gotta go. I gotta go. Sorry guys. I gotta go. It makes me sleepy to talk about this Raw. This Raw was probably the worst Raw I've ever seen. And I don't want to like down everything everybody does in there, because I do love a majority of things that happen in WWE. But these empty arenas have got to go. Or something else. Do something different. I mean, I'd rather not watch it and y'all build up some amazing creative storylines for after the whole virus situation than to watch things that are just like making me sleepy and bored. Y'all can do something better. Please, for the love of God, do something better. Please. And that's all tonight, guys. Retro Joe saying, there is hope in the future. It's coming. I don't know when, but wrestling will recover. I hope.